Minister of State Mark Field.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yet again, this is another dangerous moment for Libya. The UK has wholeheartedly supported the UN's tireless work to prepare under its own action plan for the ground for the national conference due to take place in Libya on the 14th of this month. The UK has warned that any Libyan National Army advance on Tripoli would be catastrophic for this political and diplomatic process and risks a descent into more widespread violence. This scenario, I am afraid to tell the House, appears to be developing following the LNA advances towards the west and south of Tripoli and the subsequent mobilisation of forces loyal to the internationally recognised Government of National Accord, the GNA, headed by the Libyan PM Fayez al-Sarraj, to oppose that advance. General Haftar, who is the leader of the Libyan National Army, and his aligned forces retain control of Garian, which is only 75 kilometres from Tripoli, and have taken the international airport to the south of the capital, not, I should say, the central Mitiga airport, which is used more usually by those travelling to that city. And it has been reported only yesterday that some 21 people were killed. I understand there is ongoing fire almost as we speak. General Haftar appears to show no sign of stalling this advance, despite urgent diplomatic efforts to urge de-escalation, including a meeting with the UN Secretary-General Guterres last week in Tripoli. We continue to focus our diplomatic lobbying on key international partners, and I know that the Foreign Secretary today in Brussels at the Foreign Affairs Council has worked together with other G7 nations who have come out with a notice on this matter. And we therefore call upon regional counterparts, in particular in Egypt and the United Arab Emirates, to have an eye on the peace plan that has been proposed. There remains, of course, a severe risk of escalation between pro-LNA and anti-LNA armed groups, and for our own purposes, political staff at Post have been withdrawn for some time to the Libya office in Tunis, in neighbouring Tunisia. You will appreciate, I hope the House will appreciate, that we will not go into great specific detail of exactly the remaining diplomatic staff that we have in that country, and obviously we are keeping these issues under review. All Libyan parties need urgently, I think, to pursue de-escalation, to avoid further miscalculation, and to recommit unashamedly to the UN-led initiative and political process. There is still time to prevent further violence and to find a political solution. Any party whose actions precipitate violence and bloodshed should now be held accountable by the international community. I call upon all of our international partners to send the strongest possible message to the LNA commander Haftar to back down and to re-engage with the UN process. Indeed, as the penholder at the UN Security Council, it was at the UK's instigation that a special session was held at the Security Council in New York on Friday. The UN report that the violence has caused the displacement of more than 2,800 people in recent months, and this has meant the emergency aid can't reach casualties, including civilians. It is imperative that all parties respect international humanitarian and human rights law. Mr. Speaker, the UK shall continue its concerted diplomatic efforts in order to urge a de-escalation of the situation in Libya, and we shall work in the UN Security Council, in the European Union and in all other international fora to urge all parties in Libya to re-engage with the political process.
Mr. Speaker, can I thank the Minister for his statement and